Good evening.
Good evening.
Am I in?
You're in there.
Okay, terrific. Thank you. I just got in. It's pretty wet out there. I hope everybody is safe and at home or at a safe place. So approval of the agenda items. Let me say this. Let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you so much. Approval of the agenda items. First of all, we are going to move the public to the front. We have one individual who's speaking, so if she's present, we will let her speak first. And if not, in fairness to her, if she doesn't arrive till later, then we will certainly give her her opportunity to speak. I spoke with council, and there are some really important issues on the agenda tonight. For example, a number of ordinances and some other issues. So what I'm going to do is ask to make a motion to table some items. I'm going to ask for a motion to table under old business 6A, along with 8A, 8B, 9A, 9B, and 9C. What we will do then is those items, we're going to schedule a public meeting for March 8th at 7 o'clock. That will be properly advertised. So at that time, we can have input from the public. It'll be sort of we will call it a workshop meeting. It'll be a special meeting, so there can be back and forth. It will not be a voting meeting, which is different from a typical council meeting. So that will be duly advertised. So at this time, I would like to ask for a motion for 6A. A motion to table 6A, 8A and B, 9A, B, and C. May I have a motion to table those items?
I'll make a motion to table those items.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Roll call.
On the motion to table, Mayor Calabrese,
Yes.
Councilman Petrucci,
Yes.
Councilman Getzey,
You're muted, Jim. You're muted.
He's a loser.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sapp,
Yes.
Councilman Pecora.
Yes.
Those items are tabled.
Thank you. And that meeting will be duly advertised. May we have the solicitor, do we have to do a technical roll call as to whether or not we're present, or was that sufficient, what we've just done?
I mean, we're on Zoom, so we can see that we're present, but I would do the roll call just to have it in the minutes in case they don't do it from the Zoom.
Okay, thank you. Roll call, please.
Mayor Calabrese,
Present.
Councilman Petrucci,
Present.
Councilman Getzey,
Present.
Deputy Mayor Sapp,
Present.
Councilman Pecora.
Present.
Thank you. May I get a motion to approve the minutes of January 11th, 2021?
Madam Mayor, I'll make a motion for approval of the minutes of January 11th, 2021.
Thank you, Councilman. May I get a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Petrucci,
Yes.
Councilman Getzey,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sapp,
Yes.
Councilman Pecora,
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese.
Yes.
Okay, motion approved.
for ratification and approval of the expenditures. Is there any public comment? Any comment from council?
Yes, Mayor Calabrese, this is Deputy Mayor Sapp.
Yes, Deputy Mayor.
I'd like to bring to the attention of Mayor and Council and to the public on our expenditures. I'd like to suggest that we give a more detailed description. For example, on page 39, on line number 4347, it's just a small amount and the amount is not in question. However, I'm just using it as an example. In the description, it's not clear on that item exactly what that's for. So in the future, I'd like to suggest that we are more detailed and descriptive in that category, please, and thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I think that's an excellent suggestion. May I get a motion for approval of ratification / approval of expenditures?
I don't have them, so I can't help you.
Yeah, I'll make a motion, Mayor. This is Deputy Mayor Sapp. I make a motion that we approve the expenditures, check numbers 48527 through 48756 in the amount of $3,181,120.60.
Thank you. May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. Roll call.
Councilman Getzey,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sapp,
Yeah,
Councilman Pecora,
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese,
Yes.
Councilman Petrucci.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. At this time, we have a proclamation. This is pretty awesome. We only get a few of these, and this may be the only one I ever get in my career, but it's pretty awesome to see this. If we were in person, at this time, we would be asking Philip Sunderman to rise and to come forward. He is not present. We're not in chambers, so unfortunately, we have to just do it by Zoom. But I would present to Mr. Sunderman from the municipality of Penn Hills a certificate of recognition. Whereas Penn Hills resident Philip Vernon Sunderman will celebrate his 100th birthday on February 23rd, 2021. And whereas Mr. Sunderman was born in Pittsburgh, enlisted in the Army during World War II, and earned multiple citations, including the Distinguished Flying Cross for his service in the India-Burma Theater. Whereas Mr. Sunderman graduated from the Art Institute of Pittsburgh and had a lifelong career at Alcoa as a graphic artist before marrying and relocating to Penn Hills. The father of 3 children and 8 grandchildren, Mr. Sunderman was actively involved in the Penn Hills YMCA and the St. James Episcopal Church of Penn Hills. Now therefore, on behalf of Penn Hills Municipality, I am pleased to congratulate resident Philip Vernon Sunderman on his 100th birthday and hereby declare Tuesday, February 23rd, 2021 as Philip Sunderman Day in Penn Hills. Please join me in recognizing this outstanding resident of Penn Hills for his 100 years of accomplishments. I spoke with Mr. Sunderman's son, and I told him that's also my mom's birthday, but I'm willing to give that day up to his dad. Thank you so much. That will be hand delivered to Mr. Sunderman, who still resides in Penn Hills. He has all of his faculties. We will now move on to public comment, although we had originally put that towards the end. I think that as we move into the new year, it is better that we go to our original plan. So we didn't know how it was going to work when we had to move to Zoom, and now I think we are getting better at Zoom meetings. So although we still have to figure out how to unmute people in a technical sense, that's not my position. So starting with the next meeting, we will then move to public comment on each and every agenda item. But for tonight, the first thing we're going to do is start to move residents to the front. Having said
Madam
that,
Mayor?
yes.
I believe we have Mr. Allison under proclamation still to do.
No, actually, he called. We're going to do that next month. He would prefer to be in person, and he's not going to be present tonight.
Okay, thank you. Didn't realize that. All righty.
Thank you for pointing that out, though. Manager, would you please move forward with public comment? Mr. Andrejczyk? Mr. Andrejczyk?
Mayor, I'm present. I'm actually on my phone. We have an issue here in the council room with our computer, but I did want to call Miss Pandolfo to make her comments if she's in the audience.
And
Yes,
we described the protocol and
Oh, thank you, Mayor. I apologize for the issue that we're having here. If you could please keep your comments to 3 minutes.
great. Thank you. Can everybody hear me?
yes, please
Yes.
state your name and address.
Great. My name is Lynn Pandolfo at 304 Drive here in Penn. I spoke in the December meeting on behalf of Miss Felicia Harvey. I will not be using all 3 minutes today to speak, but I did kind of introduce my concern for Miss Harvey and her situation during the December meeting, so I won't rehash that. But I did just want to remain present and just continue to express my concerns to the community. And I just want kind of, check in on an update and see, what it is that Penn Hills is doing to help advocate for Miss Harvey and her current situation. If anybody can please shed some light on that for me.
I'll defer to the solicitor or the manager.
To my knowledge, Mayor, there's been no change since last month. I know that the police department is still reviewing things. I know that there's some cases at Judge DeLuca's courtroom, but I didn't see this matter on the agenda, so I didn't look to give a further update today. I don't know if Manager Andrejczyk has any additional information or not, but as far as I know, the status quo is today what it was a month ago.
You mean it's still under investigation?
Still under investigation with charges pending at Judge DeLuca's.
Yeah, I have no updates on the matter, Mayor. It's status quo. I mean, I know that there are some issues that are at the magistrate's office, and I think there may be something under review, but I have no updates to that situation.
Okay, thank you. I think Ms. Pandolfo has left.
No, I'm still here. I appreciate the update. Just wanted to let the community know that Penn Hills is very concerned for Miss Harvey and that we'll continue to attend these meetings each month to help advocate for her. So thank you so much for speaking to that.
And thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor Calabrese,
Yes, Deputy Mayor Sepp.
if Ms. Carolyn is still on the line, I'd like to ask her, is there any new news that she was intending to bring to our attention with regards to Ms. Harvey? Or was she just inquiring on an update? Ms. Carolyn, are you
I
still
believe she
there?
left, Mayor.
Yeah, it looks like she left the
I believe-
meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Uh, 7A, Resolution 2021-03, approving a plan of revision for new land development at Nadine Road, and also on 7B is a new land development at Liberto Road. Before we go and vote on that, could someone please explain, I understand it in layman's terms, but could you give us a brief, either manager or solicitor, or maybe even Mr. Blackwell, tell us briefly what that means?
Sure. Thank you, Mayor. If I may, these are sewer tap-ins. These are folks that have not been part of our sewer system. So as part of what that process entails, There's a series of permissions that they have to get from Elkasan. They have to get it from the municipality. After we approve the tap in, then I think there's some filings to get made at the DEP as well.
So it's not land development like we might think of a new development there. It just really means somebody is moving from a septic system and they're tapping into our sewer system, correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
If you wanted more information than that, I would defer to Mr. Minsterman.
No, I just wanted to be clear. So unless the solicitor tells me I cannot, so on 7A and B, is there any public comment?
I thought we did public comment on all agenda items at the beginning already. I thought you indicated that we're going to go back to public comments on individual items at next month's meeting.
Okay, then let me back up. We'll do that. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to put our IT speaker on, our IT gentleman on the spot. So for all of the agenda items, is there, the ones that are pending, is there any public comment? For 7A, under resolutions, any board comment? I'm sorry, any council comment? May I get a motion for 7A, Resolution 2021-03?
Mayor
I'll make a
Calabrese,
motion for
motion that
7A,
we accept
resolution
resolution number 2021-03, approving the plan, approving the plan revision for new land development at 8259 Nadine Road.
Thank you. May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. Roll call.
Councilman Pecora,
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese,
Yes.
Councilman Petrucci,
Yes.
Councilman Getzey,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sapp,
Yes.
7A approved.
Thank you. May I get a resolution for may I get a motion for 7B, Resolution 2021-04?
Madam Mayor, I'll make a motion for 7B, resolution 2021-04, approving plan revision for new land development at 224 Liberto Road.
Thank you. May I get a second?
Second, Mayor.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call.
Mayor Calabrese,
Yes.
Councilman Petrucci,
Yes.
Councilman Getzey,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sapp,
Yes.
Councilman Pecora,
Yes.
7B approved.
Thank you. Number 7C, Resolution 2021, reappointing Harold McDonald to the zoning hearing board. Any board comment? I would just like to say that I am so proud and very happy that Mr. Harold McDonald is willing to continue his service on the zoning hearing board. Those of you who have seen his service know what a true asset he is to Penn Hills. And he's certainly the finest carpenter I've ever met. So I spoke with him and asked him if he would be willing to continue his service, and he said he would be delighted to do so. And certainly, if we were in person at this time, we would be able to congratulate him in person. So, having said that, may I get a motion for 7C, Resolution 2021-05?
I make that
Madam
motion.
Mayor, I'll make a resolution for
2021-05, reappointing Harold McDonald to the zoning hearing board for 5 years, ending his term in 12/31/2026.
Thank you. May I get a second?
Second.
Second. Second.
Thank you. Roll call.
Councilman Petrucci,
Yes.
Councilman Getzey,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sapp,
Yes.
Councilman Pecora,
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese,
Yes.
item 7C approved.
Thank you. 8 has been tabled, and 9A through C has been tabled. And again, we will be having the public meeting on March 8th.
There's
7D.
I'm sorry?
There's
Miss
7D.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't flip the page. Okay, I see. May I get a motion for resolutions 7D?
I'll make a motion for 7D, resolution 2021-06, approving the acquisition and subsequent disposition of vacant property located at 1268 Blackador Avenue in accordance with the vacant property recovery program.
Thank you. May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. Roll call.
Councilman Getzey,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sapp,
Yes.
Councilman Pecora,
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese,
Yes.
Councilman Petrucci.
Yes.
7D approved.
Thank you. Any council comment on 9D?
What happened to B?
That has been tabled. Both sides have asked that it be tabled.
Okay.
May I get a motion for 9D?
I'll make a motion to approve the sale process for vacant property located at Springwood Drive, known as parcel 534-N-205.
Thank you. May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. Roll call.
Deputy Mayor Sapp,
Yes.
Councilman Pecora,
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese,
Yes.
Councilman Petrucci,
Yes.
Councilman Getzey.
Yes.
Item 9D approved.
Thank you. Are there any items for consideration?
Yes.
Madam Mayor. Madam Mayor.
Yes, Councilman Petrucci.
One thing that I'd like to talk about real quick. I've gotten several calls this week on a problem that we have, and I thought I put this problem to bed, I don't know, it was 2 years ago maybe, with the towing contract with Coons. I don't know whether it's a driver issue or whether it's a issue with possibly a directive that needs to go out, but when we initially gave that towing contract out to Coons, one of the questions that I had, and it's on the minutes and it's on the tapes, was if a driver of an occupant of a vehicle, when it was broken down or because of an accident is wrecked, can the vehicle be towed to a location that the driver wants? And my answer that I got was if the driver of the vehicle can pay for this tow at the time the vehicle is dropped, then that vehicle can be dropped anywhere that the driver is requesting. So at this time, I would like a directive, a resolution, an ordinance. I don't know what we would call it. Maybe it's more of a directive from the manager that operate, and I have 3 things I'm going to read off to you because I've been thinking about. The operator of a motor vehicle must be given the opportunity to call AAA if a member or a towing company of their choice if the vehicle is broke down on the roadway. Now, I don't care if that comes from the driver of the truck, the tow truck, or the police officer. Somebody's got to afford these opportunities to these drivers of these vehicles. Number 2, if a vehicle is broke down on a roadway and can be safely pushed off the roadway to a safe location, a driver should be afforded the opportunity to do so. So if you're sitting on Birmingham Road and that car can be pushed a lousy 6 feet, then it should be pushed over 6 feet just to let the traffic go by, and they should be able to afford the opportunity to get the car towed themselves. Number 3, drivers shall be given the opportunity to have the municipal towing company tow the vehicle to the home or garage of their choice as long as the tow can be paid for at the location of the tow. And that was agreed upon by Coons Towing. And that was one of the questions that I put towards them when we gave them the contract. The tow truck operators now, and this is something that I feel should be talked about with them. They should be, for the municipality company, must take other forms of payment such as credit cards, Venmo, PayPal, etc., and shall be allowed to charge that percentage for such use of payment. Now, this thing where we only accept cash. How many people carry $250 in their pocket and want to drop a car and don't have the money? But everybody's got a credit card. More people today they have Venmo. More people today have PayPal. We have to have some other type of payment. Even the Square put on the side of a phone that they could run a credit card through it. Anything, they need to take something other than cash. Okay. And that's something that we need to get worked out for the people of Penn Hills. I had 2 issues this week. People called me and they were forced to have cones towing, tow the,
Mr.
they were forced to
Petrucci,
have,
Mr.
yeah.
Petrucci, with all due respect, I think that's something that maybe you can talk with the solicitor about, because back when this contract was done under the prior administration, these were issues that all came up. That was, everybody knows my thoughts on that. I'm not going to rehash that. I didn't think that was a good contract back then. I don't think it's a good contract now. Nonetheless, it is a contract, and I think that this is not, you certainly can bring that up with the solicitor. Maybe you want to have a meeting with Coons and with the solicitor, but I think to say that at this time is really, the horse is already out of the barn.
We can always change that contract anytime we want to. We have to give them 30 days, and that's how the contract reads. So the contract can be changed.
Well, but there are some, well, okay, good luck with that.
Don, when are you getting back in town?
I'm getting back to town on the 3rd of March.
Okay, well, let's you and I talk in the next couple of days and we'll get something set up with them. Is that okay?
That's fine. We can do it by Zoom even.
Any other council members have any other items for consideration?
I do.
Calabrese, this is Deputy Mayor Sapp.
Yes, Deputy Mayor.
I have a few items for consideration after talking to several residents of Penn Hills. We've come up with some items of consideration. And number 1, we'd like to consider an anonymous tip line. So I talked with our business manager today again about this tip line, and we would like to put an anonymous tip line, something similar to see something, say something, so that people can report crime in confidence. So that is one item of consideration. Number 2, the other thing that I talked about with the residents is consider having police presence outside of their neighborhood bars and lounges at the time of closing. That would maybe deter some of the criminal activity that has been going on in Penn Hills. Also, I'd like to consider having an executive session in March. That would be my number 3. And then number 4, also just want to reiterate, like to begin to develop some recruiting strategies to attract a more diverse candidate base for our police department, specifically geared to African Americans. And I know we've been working on that, but I just like to continue to just reiterate that in items of consideration until we get that ball rolling.
Thank you so much. Councilman Getzey, I think you had something you wanted to say.
Yes, I do. When I ran for council, I did research on the budgets and the audits, and I want to discuss the budget and the audits at the meeting. I've gone through it. I have some specific items I'd like to address. Generally, I guess I'm concerned about the budget, and I'm concerned that it doesn't contain all the information that a budget should. I think it's kind of low on the scale of budgets. It doesn't involve any issues about mismanagement or problems, but I think the format of the budget needs to be revised, and there needs to be more narrative explanation. It's not just an accounting issue, it's the whole budget. So it's going to be kind of extensive too.
Okay, very good. Any reports?
I have a
Madam Mayor,
report.
Yes.
Go ahead. I have
Councilman?
a report.
Okay, go ahead,
Which one?
Councilman Getzey.
I went to look at that Colorado Street parking situation. So let me stop. Let me start with my conclusion. The cemetery there, Pete McQuillan's, needs to have the parking, and I don't see any problem with them having park when they need it. I looked at the site. They only use the street parking occasionally because they have parking on site. And I think we could easily, with signs or some other way, reserve that parking for them on the street when they need it. I don't see it will interfere. Looking at that entire site, it's difficult without looking at a plan to imagine what the parking situation would be there, which I think could be reserved. We certainly need to have these people have that parking available when they need it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Councilman Petrucci, I think you had a report.
Yes, I do. Last week, I facilitated a meeting between Senator Costa and the president of the CDC and some board members about the Road I Road corridor and what renovations could be done to it to enhance the drivability and make it more aesthetically pleasing. After that discussion, Senator Costa recommended that another study was done because the one that we had from the 90s was too old. And we all agree that a new study should be done. Senator Costa will reach out to the various elected officials to explain what is needed for the renovations and get their support. Included will be the support, hopefully, of the council on whatever we can work out with that. Senator Costa explained that this is not going to happen overnight. And what I'm hearing is 10 to 12 years down the road, we might get something done because of the lack of funding. But he will try to expedite this matter in any way because it is important to us in Penn Hills. Another thing with Road I Road, I spoke to Pete Budash, and for you that don't know who Pete Budash is, he's the head of the economic development team for Allegheny County. A couple of years ago, I had a ride along with Mr. Budash and Mr. Fitzhenry, I believe. All the council members were on the bus, and we looked at the old BP station down there, and they asked us what we wanted to do with the BP station, and I said, well, we should tear it down and give it to the municipality. So the station is tore down. Mr. Budash told me that they got a grant to tear the station down, and they were waiting for the ground to settle, and they're going to hand it over to the municipality. So it's been a long time coming, but we are going to get that piece of property down there. One of the directors for the county has suggested that and we'll have to talk with the CDC about this, about planting wildflowers down there. They'll till the soil over and plant some wildflowers to make it more attractive. So that's basically what I have for the reports.
Thank you so much. Any other report?
Yes, Mayor Calabrese, I have one, but before I give my report, Councilman Petrucci, did they give a projected date as to when they'll turn that over to us? I remember we had that meeting with them and they did make that promise some years ago, but did they give you a projected date as to when they would turn that over to us?
Yes, they did. He said sometime in the springtime, because I was talking to them about these wildflowers, planting these wildflowers down there. And he said he would call me as soon as he's ready to go. We can set something up with the municipality.
Okay, well, before they even turn it over, you should have them put those wildflowers in there since they're responsible for maintaining it anyway.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do right now.
Okay, all right. Yes, Mayor Calabrese, I have a report. I was invited to meet with a few organizations over this last week. One was Lee Davis from the Cure for Violence. The other one was with Ross Watson from the Health Department under the Violence of Prevention, Mr. Calvin Murphy from Center for Victims, and Mr. Ron Graham from Red Phoenix right here in Penn Hills. All four of these organizations have a vested interest in Penn Hills, and they are looking for ways to collaborate with elected officials to address this escalated violence that we are having here in Penn Hills. Just from January to now, it's been way too many homicides happening here. And although most of them are non-residents, it affects our residents. It affects our municipality. So I just want to let you know that I've been meeting with them. I look forward to meeting with them more in the future. They all have vested interest here in Penn Hills, and I certainly appreciate those efforts of them wanting to collaborate with us. So if you hear of anyone, Scott, any of those organizations coming through your emails or letters across your desk, please pay close attention to those letters because they are really, really, really interested in collaborating with us to assure that Penn Hills remains a safe place to work and to live. So, you know, it takes a village. So I definitely appreciate those organizations having that vested interest and most of them are Penn Hills residents. So we need to, look forward to working with them to help, to listen to what they have to say and to work with them so that we can get rid of this escalated crime that's happening here in Penn Hills. So I see some of them on the line, and I just like to say thank you to those organizations once again for, working so effortlessly and diligently to keep Penn Hills a safe place to work and live. Certainly appreciate that, and we definitely look forward to hearing from you soon.
I thank you so much. Any other report? I would like to say that I have met with Representative Tony DeLuca. I've met with Senator Jay Costa, and keeping our fingers crossed. But right now, we have to wait and see what happens. But they're trying to get an influx of perhaps 16 million. We're going to see what will happen with that due to COVID. Don't know where we are with that, but that's some exciting news. I think we're moving in a great direction. Again, I just want to reiterate that I'm very, very proud that we're starting this year with a surplus, no tax increase, and no layoffs. I'm very, very proud of what I see the director on here. Beautiful smile. Thank you so much. So I'm very proud that we're moving in a good direction. And other places, for example, Pittsburgh only did their budget for 6 months. We didn't count on any COVID money, but it looks like we may be getting some. So that was a very, very nice meeting. As I say, I met with Representative DeLuca. I met with Senator Costa, and I'll keep you posted on that. I thank you all so much. We will be having another a workshop meeting coming up in March. And having said that, I wish you a very, very good, safe night. The weather's pretty bad out there. May I get a motion for adjournment?
Mayor, I
I'll
make a
make a
motion
motion
to
to adjourn.
adjourn this meeting.
Thank you so much. We are so adjourned. Have a very good night, everyone.
Thank you, Mayor.
Stay safe, Penn Hills. Mask up, sanitize, and watch that ice. Good night.
Good night, everybody.